Hello and welcome to this extremely important video. I'm making this video because there are about 100 days left before you come face to face with the UPSC Prelims exam 2025. All your hard work of an year or so, in some cases hard work of more than a year, will be put to test when the UPSC Prelims paper is in front of you. So with the last 100 days left, I thought, why not tell you what to do in the last 100 days? How can you make sure that you utilize these days in the best possible manner? So here I am to give you a study plan. A plan that will include each and every subject, including current affairs and CSET of course. I'll tell you what to do, what not to do in the next 100 days in order to be best prepared for the UPSC Prelims examination. Now before I begin, I am making this assumption that you have completed all the subjects at least once. Again, when I say that you have to complete, let's say, 2 subjects in the next 10 days, that means you have already completed them once. I am talking about revision. If you're in a state where you have not completed a certain subject even once, then you might want to finish that first and then come down to the other parts. But the assumption is that you have completed it. Also reminding you, we are running in full speed our questions marathon on my app that is aimed at helping you revise. It is in the form of a crash course for Prelims 2025, where every alternate day we have a class and I upload 25 questions in a video format discussion. Subject wise schedule, we will be discussing about 40 classes, so over 1000 questions will be discussed. If you want, you can register for this course. You can download my app. The link is in the description of the video and you can attend these classes. You can attend them as many times as you want. These will be in the recorded format. So let's begin again. So what I've done is I've divided the last 100 days into 3 phases. What are you supposed to do? So phase 1 will be the first 50 days. Phase 2 will be 50 to 80 days and the last 20 days will take at the end. So let's see what do you have to do. So in the first 50 days, my suggestion is make sure that you build your foundation, you make sure that all the concepts are clear. Now, how do you do that? This is the plan that I have for you. First 10 days, make sure that polity and environment are done. Now, if you want, you can interchange the subject here and there. That is entirely up to you. I'm giving you from my point of view. If you think you want to have polity plus, let's say, economics or let's say history or science and tech, entirely up to you. But I'm giving this from my own point of view. You can just copy paste this. So first 10 days, focus on polity environment, get that done. Next 10 days, focus on economics and geography. Next 10 days, history, all the parts of history, including in art and culture as well. Next 10 days, science and tech. A part of IR, now IR is a main related subject, but you do get asked about the places in news. The current affairs part of it. The last 10 days, very importantly, focus on the government schemes, reports, and last 1 year current affair revision. Now, the last 1 year current affair revision can be easily done from the monthly booklets that you get. There are a lot of good quality monthly booklets available from many coaching institutes. You can take any one of them, but just follow one single source. You don't have to multiply or have multiple booklets. Just refer to one. That would be good enough. Now, how do you cover these subjects? If you have already made notes, then go ahead with those notes. But if you have not made notes, my advice would be focus on the NCRTs and the standard books. By now, you would have underlined the NCRTs and done everything with that. You would have made notes from NCRT also. Just refer to those. Also, very importantly, at the end of the day, when the day ends, make sure that you practice at least 50 MCQs from the topics that you have studied for the day. Please do understand. You will clear the examination not because you have studied from most of the books. You will clear the exam because you have solved the most questions. So don't ignore the importance of solving as many questions as possible. Make sure that you practice at least 50 questions at the end of every day. How will you get these questions? For example, in case of Indian polity, at the end of M. Lakshmikant, you'll have a lot of practice questions available. Then there are test series available online that you can actually take. Again, my own crash course will help you with 25 questions every single day, every alternate day rather. So you can take all these questions. Use previous year questions also from the last 10 years. When you go through the previous year questions, don't go through very old questions. The pattern used to be very different. Only go through last 10 years question and see what are the kind of questions that are asked, especially of the last few years. Make short notes for quick revision. Now, how do you do that? So what you can do is, what I used to do personally, you have those visiting cards, no? So at the stationery shop, you can have blank visiting cards also. On the blank visiting card, I used to just write a few notes. and you do to just keep a pack of those cards, and then you can just flipping through them and keep on revising them. Even if you're, let's say, lying on the bed, you're about to sleep, you have 10-15 minutes, just go through those cards one by one and you'll be able to revise a lot. So make sure that you have quick, concise notes for your revision and keep marking the areas where you are weak. A lot of times when you're studying a certain subject, you think that, oh, this is very tough, I will read it in the last day. The last few days I'll read that so that I remember. So please make sure that you remember what do you have to read in the last few days, which are your weak areas. Give a full mock test, a full length mock test once every week, at least once every week in the first 50 days, and make sure you spend a lot of time on analyzing it. Read the explanation properly, see where you are lacking, see what were the questions that did not go right. Make sure that you are able to focus on those specifically. Explanations are very important. They will give you much more content as compared to the test series already. For the current affairs, as I said, follow one trusted source. That can be PT365 from Vision IAS, that can be the history booklet, that can be many others that are available online. Make sure that the monthly compilations are with you. Those are divided subject wise and that can be easily referred to. Focus on reports, indices that have come out, government schemes, places in the news. For example, this year Greenland is a lot in the news, Gaza and that Middle East area always remains in the news, Ukraine, Russia always remains in the news, the Panama Canal is a lot in the news. So make sure that you focus on all these areas, see their geographical location, their nearby areas, where are they located. All these are very, very, very relevant. That was the first phase, that is the first 50 days in the last remaining 100. Second phase, 51 to 80. Now I'm rounding it off to 5 weeks. So 5 weeks would be 35 days, but I'm rounding it off. So I'm giving you a 5-week thing, that after the first 50 days are done, then for the next 5 weeks, do this week wise. Again, this is important for you. First 2 weeks, again, subject wise revision once more, and now give mixed mock test. So mock test, at the end of the day, do not give them subject wise now, give mixed full length mock test. Have theme based revision, for example, governance and polity together, geography and economics together. This will be the next 2 days, next 2 weeks, and very, very importantly, now comes the time to focus rigorously on CSAT. I personally know multiple students who were able to clear the GS cutoff, but they were not able to clear the CSAT cutoff of 1/3 marks. So don't ignore that. Spend at least 1 week rigorously practicing the CSAT questions. Make sure that you give full length test, at least 7 to 8, more than 5 CSAT tests should be given. Make sure that you are clearing cutoff in each and every one of those. If you're getting above 70 in each of the practice tests that you give, you are on the right track. You don't have to worry about that further. In this time, also divide your attention. So there's a 80-20 rule, means subjects which are mostly asked, that is spend 80% time there. Polity, economics, modern history, environment, this is where most of the questions are focused on. So spend 80% time there. Remaining 20% should be on the fringe subjects where you have only 1-2 questions, like general science, science and tech, ancient medieval history, etc. From science and tech, for example, most of the questions anyways come from the current affairs point of view. So focus much more on the heavy subject, like from polity, economics, you will have combined 35 to 40 questions at least from here. So make sure that you are focusing much more on those subjects in the last coming days. Here, as we are about to come close to the prelims examination, make sure that now you give at least 3 tests per week, means every alternate day, give a full length test. In this time period, when you give a full length test, make sure that you are giving it as a proper examination test, means start the test at the same time as the UPSC exam will. In the morning, spend 2 hours at a stretch, just like you would do in an examination, so that your body cycle, your body clock gets used to it. Don't think, oh, I'll give the test in the evening or in the night. No. Make sure that you simulate the examination environment as much as possible. Again, analyze where you went wrong. The more closer that you are to the examination, you should try to make sure that you are now replicating exactly what will be happening on the day of the examination. So wake up at the time that you will on the day of the examination, sit for the examination at the time that the paper will be given to you in the time of the prelims exam, so that your body clock gets used to it. CSAT, again, don't ignore, give at least 2 CSAT mock tests every week now. Focus on getting at least 70 marks here, so that you are giving yourself at least 1 or 2 questions of cushioning. Practice logical reasoning from previous year papers. Again, if you are if you have any trouble in CSAT, make sure out of the 3 portions, maths, logical reasoning and comprehension, identify the one that you are weakest in. Apart from that, the other 2 you should be at least above average. Make sure that you attempt only the questions where you are at least 190% sure of the answer, so that you are negating the negative marking aspect of it. Third phase, the last 20 days. Last 20 days, again, very important. Don't miss them. First, don't touch any new resource now in the last 20 days. Only trust whatever you have studied. Only trust your revision, your notes, whatever you have. Again, give a mock test every alternate day. And make sure that you revise the important facts from the current affairs, specifically important topics that are in the news, because current affairs is a very vast portion. And these days, when you read current affairs and you revise current affairs from the booklets, they also help you revise the static portion. So when you're revising current affairs, you're not just focusing on current affairs, you're focusing on the static part as well. So make sure that the last few days are specifically given for the current affairs. Very importantly, do not fall ill. I know it's not in your hand, but do not fall ill. Get yourself good sleep. I know you think that every minute is important, so you don't want to waste on exercising, but keep yourself fresh, go on a walk 15-20 minutes a day, because if you fall ill in the last few days, it will be very, very, very detrimental for you. So take care of yourself, stop eating outside for the last 2 or 3 months, because again, even if you fall ill for 1 or 2 days, it will impact you severely. So compromise on that, don't eat anything from outside, have a good, simple life, reduce social media distraction. I am not the one who says that you have to go off from social media if you are preparing, but reduce that distraction as much as possible. On the day of the examination, make sure that the number of attempts are carefully decided. It depends how the paper is. If the paper is on the tougher side, go with 70-75 attempts. If the paper seems to be easier, go with 85 attempts or maybe even more. Don't think that you have to attempt only those where you're 100% confident, or don't think that you have to attempt 100 questions out of 100. That is not how it works. If you're thinking, how will I know if the paper is tough or not? Trust me, you will know. If you are prepared honestly, you will, after seeing the paper, you will be able to make out whether this is a tough paper or an easy paper. If it's a tough paper, you can restrict your attempts to 70-75. It's an easier paper, try to touch 85. Again, time management is the key. Usually in the prelims exam, you do not have lack of time. At least in the CSAT paper, you don't have lack of time, but please make sure that you first solve those that you are 100% confident about. Attempt those questions which seem easy to you, then come back and spend time on those which don't seem easy to you, which seem tricky to you. So first attempt those where you're 100% confident of the answer, then come to those questions where you are confused between 2 options, then come to those where you're confused between 3 options, so on and so forth. This is what you need to do in the last 100 days. And again, reminding you, if you are interested in joining my prelims crash course, which is a form of questions marathon, you can download my app. It's called Harshmeet Study Circle. It's on the Google Play Store. We will be discussing 25 questions every alternate day. I'll give you the PDF also, and you can watch these classes as many times as you would want. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. All the very best. Jai Hind.